Is holding on to my property for long term a wise choice? This is one of the common topics among homeowners, more especially for the HDB owners. Hi, I'm Dion, and in today's video we'll analyze one of the main reasons why homeowners shouldn't hold on to their property for too long unless they are approaching their retirement age. Here are some of the reasons why homeowners are holding on to their properties. First and foremost is for the convenience that it gives. Their flat may be in close proximity to the MRT station, kids' schools, parents' place, or even for their workplace. Secondly, some of the homeowners might have the fear of taking a larger loan. For example, if one were to upgrade from a 4-room flat to a 5-room flat or even a private properties, chances are they will have to take a larger loan that is higher than the current flat, which also means a higher money mortgage for them to service. For some, they might have already fully paid for their property and they do not wish to actually restart the loan all over again. Of course, by taking a loan, it can actually meet the needs of a bigger space, better lifestyle, or even a potential capital appreciation in the future. Wouldn't that be good? Lastly, some owners might become emotionally attached to their flat after staying there for a number of years. They are getting used to the environment, the amenities in their estate, so on and so forth. They will probably feel that it might be too early for them to actually let go. They will want to actually stay for a few more years before making any shift. If any of these reasons resonates well with you, the next part of this video will give you a clearer picture of why there is a risk to take as a property age over the years. So make sure you watch this till to the end.
First of all, do allow me to give a brief summary of the property market from the past until the recent years. Over here, this is the chart of the HDB Resale Price Index from the year 1990s all the way until Q3 2022. This shows the price movements of the HDB resale flats on a quarterly basis. As you can see, each high is higher than the previous high and each low is higher than the previous low. And this is a perpetual uptrend. And now, we are actually at the highest point of the entire chart. If you were to look closely, in the year 2013, the index was at the highest point back then. Since then, the price index dipped for a good 8 years before it break even and eventually go above the 2013 peak. Of course, I do not have the crystal ball to predict when will be the highest peak before the price index starts to dip. But what I can do is to use the past transacted data to illustrate why holding on to a property for too long can be very risky. Do note that I use the word risky over here doesn't mean that it's not good to actually own a property. I'm referring to the high opportunity cost that one would potentially miss out over time. If you are ready, let's dive into the example over here. In this example, I will use a couple who are at the same age of 28 as an illustration. They plan to apply for a 5-room BTO flat in Jurong in the year 2003. Let's assume the following. This couple both have a starting salary of $2,500 each month when they first graduated. Assuming there's no salary increment every year, which is very unlikely, but to make things simple, let's assume that their salary is fixed throughout. And this couple have worked for 5 years now. With all these assumptions, they will have the following. As you can see over here, their CPF contributions is about $575 per month going to their ordinary account. For both of them, it adds up to be $1,150 per month. Combined OA balance after working for 5 years adds up to be $80,000 in total. This is after considering all the yearly bonuses and etc. And finally, the option fee for the purchase of the BTO 5-room flat is at $2,000. Alright, so they bought a 5-room BTO flat at Jurong West at the price of $282,000. It will take about 3 years for construction before they can go for the key collection. The maximum HDB loan that they can take based on their income is actually at $284,000. From there, they made a down payment of $80,000 from their CPF OA and took a loan of $200,000 over a period of 30 years. And this works out to be a money mortgage of $800 per month. While waiting for the flat to TOP, even before getting the keys, they would have already accumulated about $6.1,000 of accrued interest. Yes, if you're not aware, the accrued interest starts from the day you place your down payment. For scenario 1, we assume that this couple sold their flat during the 2013 peak, which is 7 years after the key collection with the following calculated figures. For the sale price is at $585,000, The total principal used, it consists of the 7 years of money mortgage adds up to be 67k plus the initial down payment of 80k will have the amount of 147k. For the total accrued interest, for using their CPF from the day 1 until now, the total amount of accrued interest incurred will be 28k. So the total CPF refund to their CPF account will be 175k. As for the outstanding loan after 7 years, it's actually at 166k. Using the formula below, you'll be able to see that after netting off all the CPF refunds, the outstanding loan, as well as the selling expenses, the couple actually will have left with 229k as their cash proceeds. As for the second scenario, if they were to hold on to their flat for 14 years before they decided to sell in the year 2020, here are the calculations. So the sales price is at 478k, total principal use for 14 years of using their CPF OA to pay for the money mortgage is at 134k, plus the initial 80k of down payment will derive with the amount of 214k. Total accrued interest is 61k plus 6k for the initial construction period will add up to be 68k. Total CPF refunds will turn out to be 282k. And after taking the loan for 14 years, and they will be left with 125k for the outstanding. With the calculations, the net cash proceeds will turn out to be 58k using the same formula. So let us put both scenarios together and compare the difference side by side. As you can see over here, by selling earlier on the 7th year, this couple's cash proceeds is almost 4 times more than if they were to sell it on the 14th year. And also not forgetting that our money will lose its value over time. For example, having 170k now as compared to having the same 170k 7 years down the road will have so much difference in terms of the purchasing power. It will be worse when the cash proceeds drop to 58k on the 14th year. So imagine this, if our cash proceeds is this amount, we probably can only use it to do a simple renovation for the next property with little or no leftover. Of course, if one is looking to upgrade to a private condo, cashing out the profits while the cash proceeds is still high will have a high chance of upgrading. In case if some of you guys are wondering, I do not anyhow pluck out the sale prices from this guide. I have used past transacted data as an example for both scenarios. Same floor range and floor size, one transacted in the year 2013 at the price of 585k, while the other was transacted in the year 2020 at the price of 478k. Over a period of 7 years, the sale price dropped by 107k. Now, let's take a look at the difference between the sale price and the cash proceeds for both scenarios. Even though the sale price dropped by 107k over 7 years, the cash proceeds doesn't drop by the same amount. You might be wondering why is that so? It's simply because of the power of compounding effect on the accrued interest. Regardless of whether the selling price is high or low, the economy is good or bad, our CPF board will still continue to compute the accrued interest at the rate of 2.5% every single year without fail. Last but not least, before we come to the end of this video, here's a question that you might want to ask yourself. Imagine that you are this couple in this scenario. Would you want to be 170k richer in 2013 or 170k poorer in 2020? Thank you very much for watching this video. We hope that you have some takeaways from here, and we'll see you again.